Let's move on. We're going to move on to immigration now.
Okay.
To date, more than 21,400 people seeking asylum have been sent to New York, Mr. Pinion, mostly from Texas and Florida. The cost of housing these new arrivals is estimated at more than $1 billion. A large part of the issue is due to Congress's lack of action on immigration.
Yep.
How would you address the problem if elected?
Well, let's be very clear. The mayor of New York City just declared a state of emergency for a migrant crisis. Chuck Schumer spent 2 years saying was a figment of our imagination. You deal it with securing the border. It is not equal level terrain. Some places need a fence, some places need a wall, some places need more boots on the ground. But secure it you must. We need to go back to the stay in Mexico policy. We need to make sure that the asylum process is cleaner, that people don't have to go through such a process that is so convoluted. But more importantly, we need to make sure that there's accountability for people to come. There are 4 million people waiting in line to come to this country legally. We need to make sure we're not hiring 87,000 IRS agents. Perhaps we should hire some more immigration agents to facilitate those 4 million people coming here, many of whom are joining spouses. So that, to me, is a conscientious plan to get the job done. I think, again, when you have less people feeling as if that legal line is not going to move, you'll have more people who are unwilling to swim across the Rio Grande because people are taking their life into their hands, pursuing an American dream they were told by this president to pursue illegally.
Okay, Mr. Schumer.
The best solution is comprehensive immigration reform, and it can be done. Senator McCain and I, back in 2013, a gang of 8, 4 Republicans, 4 Democrats, came up with a comprehensive plan. It secured the border much better than it has been secured ever since. It said to the 11 million who are here, we're giving you a pathway to citizenship. They have to go through a number of different things to get there, but there is a pathway. And it brought into America the people we need to continue to grow our economy and expand our jobs. It got 69 votes in the Senate, Democrat and Republican. I am going to work very, very hard to try and convince. Up to now, our Republican colleagues have been unwilling to do anything on immigration. But I think we can get this done, particularly in light of the fact that there's such a job shortage in America. The business community is crying out for new people to fill the jobs. And I think we can get them to get some brave Republicans, certainly a number above 10, that we can pass comprehensive immigration reform. That is the only real answer to this problem.
He's had 42 years to pass comprehensive immigration reform. If he was going to get it done, he would have already gotten it done. The reality is he stood on this debate stage many years ago and said the truth, that there is no appetite for solving the immigration crisis until we take the business of securing the border once and for all secure. That's not my opinion. That was the old opinion of Chuck Schumer before he had to worry about the AOCs of the world coming to take his job and his title. So yes, we need to have comprehensive immigration reform. We need to deal with the dreamers, because no person brought here as a child through no fault of their own should be held accountable by this government. That is the nature of what America can and should be.
Thank you.
But again, we need to have real plans, not empty rhetoric that changes based on the political circumstances of the day.
Mr. Schumer.
Comprehensive immigration reform was blocked by Republicans, and by the way, never used to be. George Bush, H.W. Bush, W. Bush, Reagan were pro-immigration reform. The new Trump Republican Party has become anti, but I think a number of Republicans could be fed up with that, and we could get comprehensive reform.
So, Mr. Pinion, will you push for funding to be sent to New York City and other cities dealing with the influx of new arrivals?
I think that we have to make sure that we are not spending money to deal with the flooding in before we've actually plugged the hole in the dam. We have a humanitarian crisis in broad daylight. We have a drug crisis in broad daylight. The leading cause of death for people in this country aged 18 to 45 is fentanyl overdoses. Chuck Schumer didn't even realize we had a fentanyl crisis until the poll numbers started coming down. Then he wanted to scare parents into voting for him just before Halloween, saying there's fentanyl in the candy. So I think at the end of the day, we need to focus on the fact that securing the border is not a talking point. It's what's required to cultivate the conversation here at home. It's what's required to make sure we don't have mothers, urban, suburban, and rural alike, crying over caskets for children to still be here. That is what we need to be focused on.
But what about funding to be sent to New York City to deal with the current influx of migrants?
Let's be very clear. New York City has deep needs. We need to get money here. Again, yes, we got $1.59, extra 59 cents on the dollar because of what just happened, but we also printed more money in the month of June in 2020 than we did in the previous 2 centuries. So again, yes, we need more money, but we also need better planning. We also need better solutions, and Chuck Schumer has not provided them.
Thank you.
Okay, we only have a few minutes
By
left.
the way, I am working with the mayor to get the federal government to support money to help New York. It is a federal problem, and we expect to see some good answers relatively soon, particularly on one aspect of that money, the shelter and food part of it.